You remember in the last episode when I said there's going to be some things to think about and some transfer movements and things like that? Well, boy, has it been a big, big transfer window for one reason or another. Let's have a look at it. We'll dive straight in, straight in, should I say. So financially wise, as you can see, I've still got 10 million, or 10.5 million left. But if you look at the original budget, we were sitting at about 72 million. I've had more than that, and I'll show you why. Transfer wise, well, as you can see, I've got a couple sitting here that are going to be joining him in January. January. Gabriel Mascado, who I absolutely love on this game. I think he's a great defensive midfielder on this game. As you'll probably have noticed, I signed him as well on my Dortmund save and made a lot of money out of him. So I know he's got the goods on this game. And a new gen from La Equidad in Colombia, I believe. Yeah. Another regen central midfielder. I thought I'd pick him up for the cheap. If he doesn't work out, I think I can still make some money on it. That's the way I'm looking at it now, to bring in more finance. Because another thing with Heidenheim is we've had, before we go into the transfers, we've had a little bit of, let's have a look, overview. We're now at 18,500, or at nearly 19,000 capacity on the stadium. We had let's have a look, facilities, there we go. We had an upgrade to the stadium, which meant it was a few more seats brought in. But considering it was only built in 2010, I've asked about it already, they're really reluctant to go out and sort of build a new stadium or anything like that. I think it's just going to be one of those that's going to be expanded on over time and over time again. There's not much I could do about it. So to bring in more money, obviously I need to start thinking about bringing in some wonder kids, training them up to a decent level, even if they don't start for me, then moving them on so I can start bringing some more money in. So back to the transfers anyway, and it's been big. So on this side here, you'll see that 21 million has been made. Kevin Sessa left, Ibrahimovic left, Jan Schnoppler left. He wanted to go where he was on loan. Gasiorowski has gone, and a few others have gone out on loan. Ermac and Paws have gone out on loan. Kubasi, Sama and Lorenz I actually brought in. I'll show you them in a second. But this was the big one. A lot of transfers happened before the tick over. And the two biggest ones were Valencia. At the end of the season, he came to me and said he wants to move to a better team. Something that where he could fulfill his potential. He had a £45 million release clause in it. I couldn't convince him to stay, not even for another season. So he left and he went to Newcastle for 45 million. That's what the release clause is there for. We made the money. Then, out of the blue, out of nowhere, it wasn't even wanted, West Ham just pumped in 61 million to match Yannick Kalash's release clause, who quite clearly they're probably looking for a Declan Rice replacement, and this guy probably is that. And again, I couldn't stop it. And he wanted to go, he's earning more money, all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, there's not much I could do about it, to be fair. And that was it for that. Nico Mantle was another one that left early on because he wasn't happy with his game time. He wasn't happy being a backup. Totally get that. Absolutely fine. One player who did join in the previous January, not the Moscardo January, which comes at the end of this year, was Jefferson Mosquera. Now this guy, another wonder kid, centre back, Colombian again. Colombia on this save anyway are producing wonder kids just off a factory line somewhere, and this guy's incredible. And yeah, and he came in January and he has done all right. He didn't actually play at all from January. Well, he did a couple of times, a couple in Europe and one in the Cup. I think when they come in January, for some reason the computer doesn't register them for the Bundesliga squad, which is odd. I don't understand why. But he started off alright here. He's played 5 games this season already, so yeah, he's done alright. But obviously 122 million in total, especially over 110 million out of those 3 players, meant I had some money to play with, and I did play with it. So starting from the cheapest down to the most expensive. Stole Dimitrievski, yeah, Macedonian goalkeeper. I needed another backup. He was the one. Still got really good stats physically, not there, but that's because of his age. But technically and mentally, still really good as a backup. Little wonder kid coming in, another Colombian. I like my Colombian. Coffee, that is. Left back, again, really good potential. You never know, it could work out. Pau Kabasi, is not a regen. He is actually part of the La Masia Academy, where he's been playing for the Barcelona B team a couple of times for the main first team, but is actually really highly rated on here. He's consistent, enjoys big matches, really good centre back. Got a feeling though, I'm going to send him out on loan for a season because he needs something consistent, and he did go out on loan to Freiburg, because Freiburg, believe it or not, got relegated, are in the Bundesliga too. Couldn't believe that, to be fair, but hey ho. Next one, Paulo Bonato, another wonder kid, right back. He is actually classed as a wonder kid. I don't know why that's dropped down, but he was classed as a wonder kid. Really good wing back. Downside to this one, and Inter Milan snuck it in at the last second of the contract negotiations. They got a buyback clause in his contract, which for some reason or another doesn't show up on this. It'll probably be in the transfer info, which is only valid for a year, and it's valid from 2031 to 2032, so I'm hoping that they don't nick him back off me. Carlos Baleba is just an all-round box-to-box midfielder. Again, European football, I wanted a stronger squad, and he plays pretty well into that, and he was very, very cheap, 6 million from Brighton. Mario Sama, again, who is now out on loan at Getafe. Another wonder kid, striker, could play as a winger. Want to see how he gets on, but fairly cheap. I think it's 7.5 million, not bad. Luis Javier is another high potential youngster. Can you see a theme to this? Now, what I'm trying to do, trying to build up a squad for the future and building it up with new players coming through the systems. And this guy looks pretty decent. He just needs to work on his consistency and his current ability. Again, I might try and get him going out on loan. I might keep him around for the season. I don't know yet. Karim Lawrence, 14 million, left back from Montpellier. But again, because I already got Pablo Suarez in, I thought, okay, I've still got Gutierrez. I'll keep the Colombian kid and send this guy who's got more potential to probably play for me next season. So, full season at Freiburg again, in the Bundesliga too. Hopefully that will boost his stats all the way through, because he's got 5-star potential. So again, it's a consistency thing, but hopefully that works out for him. This was kind of a last minute deal. Udo Diaz, 19-year-old German winger, couldn't resist it. His actual price came up as 13 million. I ended up having to pay 15, but for 15 million for that, I wasn't going to turn that down. What I did need and miss when Valencia went to Newcastle was a winger, left-footed winger who could play on the right-hand side. Roger Fernandez was up for a bargain price of 16 million quid and has hit the ground running. His form is absolutely excellent. The only thing that concerns me is the mentals around concentration and teamwork, so I'm hoping his form doesn't dip out during the season, but at the moment, really, really good. Hit the ground running. And finally, Patrick Mainka, our all-star club captain, unfortunately now is 34-35. Physically as a centre-back is dropping off. Mentally, technically, still great, but he's in his final year of his contract. His physicals are starting to drop off, and because of the gegenpress system that he plays, he's starting to struggle with it. So I wanted another full start in the centre-back to partner Mosquera, and Wouter Goes from AZ Alkmaar at 21 million was that man. Mentally as a centre-back, brilliant. Concentration, leadership, good determination and aggression, teamwork, work rate. everything you need. He enjoys the important matches, he's got good form, he's consistent, great current ability, can progress a little bit more, good physical stats, everything you need in a centre back. And at only 25 years old, I've hopefully got him in for the long haul. And his form's not been too bad, he's done alright for the start of the season. So that's the transfers. Let's have a quick look at the schedule. And I've played a little bit more out this season. So, DFB Pokal, 6-0 win, standard, Puentes, Bischoff, Omarodian, Fofana and Fernandes with 2, so good start. Beating Cologne at home, Fernandes with 2 and Altamirano. Altamirano, by the way, didn't actually play that much last season and he was upset, which I can understand. He only made 17 sub appearances in the league and didn't start one league match. 27 sub appearances last season. He wasn't happy with that. So this time around he will be cemented into that team, but in a slightly different position, and I'll show you in a second. Then we went away to Borussia Dortmund and lost 1-0, which is a little bit disappointing. Beating Sao Pauli 4-1 and Dinamo Dresden 3-0. And then we're weirdly enough, straight onto back-to-back Europa League games. I don't understand why there's not a league game in the middle of that, but that's just the way the fixtures have worked out. Squad-wise, I will show... Tactically, it's still the same, but I am going to put Altamirano in as a box-to-box, because I think actually he works really well as a box-to-box midfielder. And the few games that he has played already, he's actually already perfected that position. So... that is what I'm going to do for the season. I'm going to simulate it, see how we get on with Europe again, the Pokal and the League. I'm hoping for something really special this season. Keeping my fingers crossed it comes off. Let's go and find out. Come on. Done it. Champions League qualification, and by a well, I'll say a mile. 7 points. So all that clawing back of trying to get out the Europa League spots into the Champions League spots, finally did it. Only finishing 6 points behind Leipzig. Okay, yes, we finished 16 points behind Dortmund. Not bothered about that at the moment. That's the next stage. Now this stage has started. Consistent Champions League qualification to start bringing in that money. That is what we need. That is a great season. And, point proven, look at the end of season form from what I was saying. 3 wins, 2 draws, brilliant. Can't fault it. Cannot fault it. If you have a look at the schedule over the season, we did really well, which I might be giving something away there, because competitions-wise, we are winners of the Europa League again. Of all teams beating as well, Chelsea. Yeah, admittedly, it took us to extra time, but still won it. Late goals all in all, really. Altamirano scored, puts 1-0 up, then Conor Gallagher with 5 minutes to go, that's annoying. But then Vuta goes and Datro Fofana against his old club, brilliant. But more guttingly, it could have been a double cup competition. We came runners-up in the Pokal. Who did we lose to? Bayern. Standard. So Dortmund win the league and Bayern win the cup. Let's have a look at the history actually. Past winners. Who's been... Oh, it's literally been swapping between just those 3 beside the anomaly of Freiburg. But overall, that is an I'm very happy with that. That's an incredibly successful season. But I am looking at this. I'm looking at our goal difference. Okay. So let's have a look at the league table. Stages. Sorry. 2 seconds. Right, so goal difference wise, plus 26. Still not scoring as many as I thought we would. If we have a look at overall, okay, Omarodian's got 24 this season and 10 assists in 50 games, which is pretty good. But league-wise, he's still only getting 14-15, which I expected of him to be getting a lot more. I don't know why he's not, because Fofana, what a season he had. 33 games, 8 as a sub, 24 goals, 5 assists. Where on earth did he play? Up front sometimes, but more on the wing, weirdly enough, ahead of Fernandez. So now I've got a decision to make who's going to be the better winger for me, Fernandez or Fofana. But bearing in mind, he is wanted by City, United and Real Madrid. Transfer window is going to be interesting. 15 goals off Iran Kunda again with 10 assists, who has just been, he's valued up to 80 million now, and I think, yeah, that's his minimum fee release clause, but again, he is wanted now by Man United. He's been with us for 6 seasons. I did not expect him to stick around that long, and it's his best season that he's had. What's going to happen? There's a lot of question marks, because now we've got Iran Kunda, Fofana and Omarodian all wanted. That's my front 3. I could be looking at a lot of transfers and a lot of movements again. Jefferson Puentes, 13 assists, 10 goals. Alto Marino from his new position in box-to-box midfielder, 9 goals, 11 assists. Udo Diaz only come 8 and 8. 13 assists from Thomas Bischoff, who I actually put in place of Kalish when he got sold. I debated whether to go and get another deep line playmaker, and I thought, no, I want to give Bischoff a shot, and it's paid off. His season has been outstanding. 10 assists in the league, 13 all in all, 4 goals, and he's been consistent. What's that, 54 games all in all? His best season in Heidenheim colours. So I think that has justified his position to stay in the side. That's some season. That really is some season. But now comes the hard work again of holding on to the players, making sure the ones who do get sold I get top dollar for, and then reinvestment again to not only keep the squad the right size and competitive, but also try and win. I want to win the Pokal, and I want to get closer to Bayern, Leipzig and Dortmund. That is the challenge for the next, I'd say, next 2 to 3 seasons. So, you want to find out what happens in episode number 8, or season number 8, join me then. Until then, please leave a like on the video and share it around, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next episode, and I will see you then. Ta-ra.